All right, so today we're going to talk about percent of change. And percent of change is going to help us find the increase or decrease in two numbers, the percent of increase or decrease. So when an increase or decrease is expressed as a percent, the percent is called the percent of change. If the new number is larger than the original number, the percent of change is a percent of increase. If the new number is smaller than the original, the percent of change is a percent of decrease. Now remember, if you need to stop the video to write down the words, do that. Alright, so I'm going to go on to an example. And the first example says, state whether each percent of change is a percent of increase or a percent of decrease. And then find each percent of change. So the original number is 32, the new number is 40. And remember we said up here that if the new number is larger than the original number, then it's a percent of increase. So this is going to be a percent of increase. And the first thing we have to do is find the amount of change. And so we find that by subtracting the two numbers. 40 minus 32 is equal to 8. Now, then we set up a proportion. And so this is where proportions are really going to come in handy. And the proportions here, we always put the change over the original number. And we set it equal to another ratio of R over 100. R being the percent, and remember that percent is always out of 100. So this is the method we're going to use every single time. We will put the amount of change over the original amount, set it equal to R over 100, get our cross product, so we'll get 800. 8 times 100 is 800. Equals 32 times R, which is 32R. Simplify that. So we have 800 equals 32R. Then we're to solve that, you know that we have to divide each side by 32. So we write 32 in each box underneath in the denominator. And when we divide, we take our calculator. We take our, now y'all just know my password. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take the calculator and we will say 800 divided by 32 is equal to 25. And so our answer is 25, and we express it as a percent. So it's a 25% increase. The percent of increase is 25%. Okay? Let's look at the next example. Okay, so this one, these two, they want you to do on your own. Okay, so I'm going to work the first one with you, and then I want you to stop the video and try to work the second one on your own, and then turn it back on and I'll finish working it. Okay, so remember that we're going to state whether each is a change as a percent of increase or a percent of decrease, and then we're going to find that percent of change. So the original number is 20 and the new number is 18. So it actually went down, right? It went down from 20 to 18. So that has to mean that it's going to be a decrease. So I'm going to go over here to the side, and I'm going to set up my proportion. First of all, I'm going to find my amount of change. So 20 minus 18 is equal to 2. I always put that over the original number, and the original number was 20. I set that equal to R over 100. I get my cross products. So 20R equals 200. And I divide both sides by 20. And so I get that R is equal to 10%. 200 divided by 20 is 10. So that tells me I have a 10% decrease. And we use increase and decrease in sales. That's one example of how we use percent increase and decrease. So if you go to the store and they're having a sale and they say it's 30% off, then we can find different values using that percent. All right, so I'm going to stop. I want you to stop the video and I want you to work B. See if you can work B on your own. See what answer you get, and then you can restart the video and I'll work the problem for you. All right, so hopefully you stopped the video and you found the percent here. The original number was 12, the new number is 48, so we know that it's an increase. Hopefully you just figured that out. And then hopefully you took 48 and subtracted 12 and got 36. And then you took that amount, put it over the original amount, 12, equals R over 100. Then you took 100 times 36 and 12 times R. Divided both sides by 12. So let's do that on the calculator. This time I'll use my thumbprint. So we have 3,600 divided by 12 is equal to 300. And so that was actually a 300% increase. So if you think about that, the original amount was 12 and we increased it to 48. We increased it by 36. And 36 is a 300% increase over 12, because 12 times 3 is 36. And 3 times 100 is 300%, or 300. Okay? All right, so that's how you figure those out. Now let's look at an actual word problem. It says the price a used bookstore pays to buy a book is $5. The store sells the book for 28% above the price that it pays for the book. What is the selling price of the $5 book? All right, so let's look at this. It says let S equal the selling price of the book. Since 28% is the percent of increase, and we know it's an increase because the store, if it buys it for $5, it's going to want to increase the price over that so it makes money, so it makes a profit. So the amount the used bookstore pays to buy a book is less than the selling price. Therefore, the selling price minus 5 represents the amount of change. So we have S minus 5 over 5. We already know the percent. This time we know the R. The R is 28 over 100. And we're going to take that, we're going to cross multiply. So look what they did. 100 times S minus 5 equals 5 times 28. They simplified that. They distributed the 100. So they got 100S minus 500 equals 140. And remember, what do we do to both sides? We add 500 to both sides. You add 500 to each side. We end up with 100S equals 140 plus 500 is 640. Then we divide each side by 100. So when we divide each side by 100, thumbprint, so 640 divided by 100, whoops, I want to show you that. Let me clear that out. 640 divided by 100, that's not correct. 640 divided by 100 is 6.4. That's what you should get. So S equals 6.4. Remember, S was the amount that the bookstore was selling it for. So that's a dollar amount. So the selling price of the $5 book is $6.40. Okay? $6.40, which is a 28% increase over the price of the cost of the book to the bookstore. Bookstore paid $5, they're selling it for $6.40, which means that they will make off of that book, if you subtract those two, $1.40 in profit. Okay, just off of that book. All right, so let's check your progress. At one store, the price of a pair of jeans is $26. At another store, the same pair of jeans has a price that is 22% higher. What is the price of jeans at the second store? Now I want you to stop the video, see if you can set up the proportion and then start the video again and see if you did the problem correctly. Okay, see if you can set up the proportion and solve it. Alright, so hopefully you stopped the video. We have jeans, $26. The other store is selling them for 22% higher, so R is 22. The price of jeans at the second store is going to be S minus the price at the first store, minus 26, over the original amount. Okay, and the original amount was 26. Has to equal R over 100. So 22 over 100. Okay, then when you solve that, hopefully you did 100 times S minus 26 is equal to 22 times 26. And hopefully I'm going to move up over here. 100S minus 2600 equals, and we're going to do 22 times 26 on our calculator. So 22 times 26 gives me 572. So 100S minus 2600 equals 572. Two-step equation. What do we do first? Correct. We add 2600. Bring down 100S. 572 plus 2600 is 3,172. We divide both sides by 100. So let's try that. 3172 divided by 100 tells me that the jeans at the other store are $31.72. So the second store is selling the jeans, the same pair of jeans, for $31.72, a 22% increase. Okay, so hopefully you took those notes and you watched this video. And if you watch all the way to the end of the video, you will know the answer to the SWIC. And the answer to the SWIC is pirates. So hopefully you watched all the way to the end of the video. All right. We will see you tomorrow. Make sure you bring your notes with you. Have a great night.